In this video, we're going to see Jeanine Pirro get called out for her pattern of blatant political loyalty and total disregard for the Constitution. Let's watch the full clip and then I'll give you my thoughts at the end.
Nominated to the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia following Ed Martin's withdrawal. Ms. Pirro has demonstrated for decades that she prioritizes her relationship with Donald Trump, now president, over almost anything else. She initially condemned the January 6 rioters and their attack on the Capitol and then did an about-face. In January 2025, she called January 6 rioters, quote, hostages, the rioters, hostages. She also complained about a 22-year sentence imposed on Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio, arguing he should not be subject to such a long prison term. Notably, a judge found that Tarrio's actions led to, quote, 200 men amped up for battle encircling the Capitol. After his release, Tarrio said, quote, success is going to be retribution. He then posted a video of himself stalking officers who defended the Capitol on January 6th. Ms. Pirro has also argued that prosecutors handling January 6 cases should be prosecuted themselves. And now she's nominated to lead the office where many of those prosecutors, if they haven't been fired by Emile Bove, will still work. When asked whether January 6 rioters were convicted of violent assaults on police officers should have been given full and unconditional pardon by President Trump, Ms. Pirro implausibly claimed, and quote, she was not aware that the rioters who were convicted of violent assaults were given full and unconditional pardons. They were. The facts show otherwise. At least 169 January 6 rioters were convicted of assaulting police officers. So here she is, defending the rioters who attacked the police, who protected all of us today to come to this building and meet peaceably. And here she is saying that those who were attacking the police were hostages and mistreated. And she apparently favors the policy of firing the prosecutors who went after the rioters. The prosecutors who went after the rioters for attacking the police. When I met with her last week, I asked if she always accepted the assignments given her by supervisors when she was an assistant district attorney. As expected, she said yes. But when I asked her whether it was appropriate to terminate prosecutors in her office for their work on January 6, she refused to answer. She also claimed she hadn't fired anybody. Well, just weeks ago, since Ms. Pirro became interim U.S. attorney, 3 career prosecutors in the U.S. Attorney's Office, including the leader of the Capital C section, were fired by the Justice Department. It is hard to believe that Ms. Pirro had no knowledge of these terminations. I'm also concerned that she's willing to ignore the Constitution when justifying the unlawful actions of the president. When discussing the administration's deporting immigrants without due process, she said, quote, Fifth Amendment says nothing about illegals, so cut the crap, unquote. As Ms. Pirro knows full well, the Fifth Amendment applies to everyone present in the United States when it demands, and I quote, no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process. Ms. Pirro's devotion to the president also extends to perpetuating the big lie. She still won't answer the question, who won the 2020 election? With her large platform on the mothership, Fox News, she repeated falsehoods about the 2020 election, leading to Fox News paying nearly $800 million to settle defamation claims brought by Dominion Voting Systems. For example, it was Ms. Pirro who falsely claimed that Dominion Voting Systems, quote, started in Venezuela with Cuban money, that the company had software backdoor to flip votes around. Ms. Pirro's fealty to the president extends to attacking lawmakers who are not fully in line with the MAGA agenda, including many members on both sides of the aisle. Her record makes it clear that she'll prioritize President Trump's MAGA agenda, not the rule of law, nor the Constitution. Trump is already using the Justice Department to protect his allies and go after his enemies, and Ms. Pirro will be willing accomplice in weaponizing the justice system. I will give her credit. She asked for an appointment to come and see me. She had to know my predilections toward her nomination. And we did meet, and I credit her with that. I suspect she's going to be approved by this committee. I will try to work with her. She has many positive things in her background, but the particular elements that I just laid out cannot be explained, and I don't believe justify her having this important position. So I'm going to vote against her nomination.
Before I call.
Okay, so that was That was a lot. Senator Durbin just came with the entire laundry list of receipts, didn't he? Just one thing after another after another. And the whole point, the entire thrust of his argument is that her loyalty isn't to the job or the Justice Department or even the Constitution. It's to Donald Trump. And I mean, he makes a pretty compelling case. The stuff on the 6th of January is just, it's mind-bending. The complete flip, he points out how she condemned it at first, and then a few years go by, things change, and suddenly in January of this year, she's calling the rioters hostages. Hostages, the people convicted of violently assaulting police officers in an attempt to stop the transfer of power. Those are the hostages, right? And then she complains about the sentence for Enrique Tarrio, the Proud Boys leader, after a judge found his actions led to 200 men ready for battle surrounding the Capitol. And this is the person they want as the top prosecutor in DC. It's honestly hard to wrap your head around, but the one that really got me was the Fifth Amendment quote. Her saying, "The Fifth Amendment says nothing about illegals, so cut the crap." I mean, what? That's from a former judge? A prosecutor, someone who wants to be a U.S. attorney. The amendment literally begins, "no person." It doesn't say no citizen. It doesn't say no person with the correct paperwork. It says no person. It's like the most basic, fundamental part of due process, and she just tosses it in the bin to score a cheap political point on television. It's disqualifying. It should be anyway. And the hypocrisy of it all. Claiming she hasn't fired anybody from the office, right? When Durbin points out that, actually 3 career prosecutors were just let go from her office, and we're supposed to believe she had no idea. The person in charge didn't know about these major firings. It treats everyone like they're an idiot. You can kind of feel the frustration in Durbin's voice, He lays all this out, the lies about the 2020 election that cost Fox a fortune, her refusal to answer basic questions, her attacks on anyone who isn't 100% MAGA, and then he basically says he expects she'll be confirmed anyway. And that's the part that's so bleak. He presents this mountain of evidence for why she is fundamentally unfit for the job. And it might not even matter. It just shows you where things are at. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. While you're down there, hit the like button and subscribe. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.